Greetings, everybody, and welcome back again to G for G as we tackle the topic of Marvel Snap. I'm Napalm Dawn, and let's get into a discussion of the Savage Land season or the January season. Whichever way you want to reference it works for me. What you're seeing in front of you is the Steam version. Now, this is something that I've noticed about the Steam version lately that's a little bit concerning. The news doesn't work for me here on Steam. Do you Steam users get this too? Because I just went and checked all these tabs on my phone, and I mean all the Winterverse stuff was here, which I keep forgetting about because when I played on Steam, I'm not getting it. Maybe I'll run a repair and see if it does it, but hey, Steam users, do you guys get what I get? Where all of this is blank? Let me know. Alright, so we've got a new season, and the season is the Savage Land season, and you can get Zabu, which turns your 4-cost cards into 2-cost cards. However, there are some other combos that could potentially drop them to 1. The game states that with this combo you can never get it below 1, down to 0. The Savage Land variant is what you see here. Interesting in that it could potentially turn some 4-costers into a little bit of a zoo with Kazar. Remains to be seen. Let's talk about this once we actually go ahead and take a look at at least my own existing cards. 100 credits, 25 Zabus, gold, 200 credits, mystery variant, which unfortunately for me was a Pixel Korg. Not happy with that. Boosters, a new title. Why, yes, that is a loincloth. Gross. 100 credits, 100 gold, and then we have a Kazar avatar. Don't like it. Don't think I'd run it. 200 credits, 30 Kazars, 100 gold, 15 boosters, 100 credits. A Savage Land variant of Kazar, which matches the avatar. Actually, I think it's a little better as a card than an avatar. More refined art, but I'm just not that crazy about it for the avatar. Hundreds of gold, 30 Kazars, 15 boosters, another mystery variant credits, 15 boosters of a random character credits, another new title, technically not Tarzan. That's funny. Storm. And then you're going to see the Storm card. I find it interesting that you get the avatars before the variants. I feel like that's a little bit backwards. Credits, 30 Storms, 30 more Storms over there. Gold boosters, credits, a mystery variant credits. Zabu boosters at 60 credits, another title. Zabu, no, Bad Kitty. I like that one. I think I would run that if I got it. Zabu, the avatar to go with the card. This card back, which I think is pretty cool. And then finally, Zabu's Savage Land variant. And then the collector caches. We have a Starlight Connection, which is Sarah and Angela. These are the anime variants. You get an avatar anime, and you can get card anime. 4,000 credits, about $50. If you come down and look at the gold, you will see that 400 gold is equivalent to 5,000 credits. So you can say that $50 kind of comes close to the 4,000 credits over there. So essentially, this kit, this combo meal over here, is about $50 for the 4,000 credits with 2 free cards, 2 free avatars. I think the main meat of this is Sarah, to be honest, but I don't know that she carries this whole Happy Meal to be $50 worth. Angela's very accessible. Sarah, if you don't have her, we can take a look at my cards and we'll talk about it. I think this is way overpriced. Hopefully not a lot of people get it, and hopefully Second Dinner is told that this shit is a little too expensive and crazy. This is one of the few Dan Hip variants that I actually kind of like. Sort of reminds me of a Samurai Jack aesthetic, or him from Powerpuff Girls. I like this one. I don't like a lot of hip ones, but this one I think is pretty cool. I do believe that one is badass, and if I didn't have the Venomized Killmonger, I think I would run that. I have a Pixel Okoye. I have this really cool Mysterio. Love the mouth area here. It looks gaunt and sunken in and almost skull-like. The clasp for the cloak, our eyes. This is a badass variant. I really like that one. Multiple Man is a Pixel. I gotta say, this looks like any Steam game that tries to be retro. I think this Pixel variant kind of really nails the aesthetic very, very well. People kind of get upset with how many Pixel variants there are. Baby Jugs. I think this is hysterical. Almost looks Family Guy-ish. Sort of looks like Stewie or Brian with the helmet on. And this Chibi Angel, which not that crazy about one, and I have some Chibi variants. My fast upgrade right now is Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, and Doc Ock. I know this is a scam to do it this way, but you know, why the hell not? When you have enough credits, it just bumps up your collection level a little bit. And let's see what we get. I'll do the 50 credits first, and in my collector's reserve I pull... Wow! When a card moves here on turn 6, destroy it. Wow! Anti-move decks. I don't think I would use this in my own move decks, because a lot of cards, when they destroy, come back to you. Wolverine would kind of work with using Kingpin on your own stuff. Not bad. Oh, okay. Acquire boosters was one of my challenges there. Let me look at my move deck real quick over here and see. Well, actually, no. I would. Yeah, it would be the move deck. It wouldn't be my destruction deck. When this card, yeah. See, it goes back to your hand. Sabretooth, my original death deck. Sabretooth goes, but Wolverine is one of the only ones that would be useful, or potentially like surprising on round 6 and throwing Nova into Kingpin so he bounces off his fat gut. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to be a reactive card, not a proactive card. So I don't know that I have a spot for Kingpin in any of my decks. Certainly was not expecting to get him, to be honest. Yeah. Just don't really think I've got something for him. Here's the Korg Pixel that I got. Don't like that one. Definitely not a fan of that one. There's my Invisible Woman from one of the packs. Visible Woman, Gambit, and Rogue are all part of my collection because of those combo packs that they've done. I just can't really support Sarah for 50 bucks. I mean, Angela is very accessible to people. Sarah, I know, is not, but... Okay, so here's Zabu. Your 4 cost cards cost 2 less. Now, here's the thing, though. If the card's cost is bumped up by an effect, does... Say you have a 4 cost that goes up to 5. Would Zabu affect him? Let's see what I get in this one. Yeah, 300 credits. Not that great. Let's upgrade him again.
Animated.
Knowing Ben Brody, I'm pretty sure Ben Brody is the announcer, by the way. Maybe I'm stating the real obvious over there. Let me check something. So if I get Iceman... Yeah, I wonder if Iceman takes one of my 3s. Say an enemy Iceman drops, he takes one of my 3s and bumps him to a 4. Does Zabu then bump him back down to a 2? Or if one of my 4s gets bumped up to a 5, does Zabu... is his effect considered by working on the default of the card, and does he take my 5 down to a 3? Interesting questions. Here's Kingpin with a card. Yeah, not really a fan of that one. I don't think I have much use for him, to be honest. I feel like throwing Wolverine against him is one of the only late game plays. I think it's just a counter to move decks, or like Heimdall or something like that. So Sarah, we wanted to briefly talk about Sarah real quick over here. Make sure all my filters are clear. Haven't upgraded that Magneto yet because I would rather upgrade the Chibi, so I've been holding on to it. Dr. Doom, there's the sign Nick Fury that I picked up recently. So here's Sarah. Cards in your hand cost 1 less. I do believe that also could have some effect with Zabu, and that's probably why they say the minimum is 1, so that comboing Zabu and Sarah and maybe another card like this can't get ridiculously out of hand and start dropping a whole bunch of zeros over there. But let's take a look at the 4-costers and see what would really benefit from dropping down to a 2. Not necessarily Dracula, because he can go his endgame. He doesn't activate until the end of the game, so dropping him early doesn't do a heck of a lot. Jubilee with somebody could be interesting. Shang-Chi at 2. I think that's perhaps going to lead to a lot of misplays. Do you really want to drop a Shang-Chi in round 2 when his effect is maybe better for the later game and killing stronger cards? Spider-Man on a 2 could be interesting. Moon Girl. Yeah, Moon Girl at 2 could be interesting. Her effect doesn't necessarily go by early game or late game. I think that one works. That would be beneficial, dropping to a 2. Kazar dropping down to a 2 and buffing your cards early. It's not bad. Jessica Jones getting dropped down to a 2 and skipping an early turn and bumping her up, that's pretty decent. I think that's good. I'm not too sure where dropping 2 4s down into 2s make for a good combo in round 4, 5, or 6 yet. I have to investigate it more. Like, what would be ridiculously overpowered if you could drop 2 4s at the same time? If you're running a bunch of weenies and you can drop Strong Guy early and keep your hand early by running cheapies so that you always got something to play, not bad. Rock Slide down into 2 and shuffling 2 rocks in early, that could be pretty decent if you're running a control deck and maybe running Debris and Korg and Black Widow, and you just really start fucking with the enemy hand. Dropping Rock Slide to an early play, I think, would be pretty decent. Dropping Crossbones early at 2 when it might be easier to be winning a location could be good. I don't know if a tie, if a 0-0 tie would allow you to play crossbones. You're not necessarily winning, but you're also not losing. So dropping a 2-8 on round 2. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Let me. Yeah, never mind. He has to be out on the field. So, yeah, all the things about saying round 2, I take that back. That's not actually going to be correct. He has to be on the field, so you're not really going to see the benefit until round 3 or round 4, round 3, maybe if you have some screwery here. But, yeah, dropping. Well, it doesn't really help Crossbones per se, because he was always going to drop round 4. Yeah, actually, none of these can drop early by their reduced cost. You're only going to get them round 3 or higher. So it's everything that I said about taking a powerful 4 and dropping it earlier in the match goes completely out the window. Playing multiple 4s in a round by dropping them to 2. Potentially Hell Cow. Maybe Hell Cow going down to a 2 so you can combo a lot of discards in that round would work. Maybe surprising somebody by buffing Collector, by dropping White Queen, dropping Emma in round 4 as a 2, and then maybe dropping, like Sentinel at the same time in 4. Could be interesting. Another thing is maybe running a 2. Do any 2s buff? A Koye. Yeah, I was wondering if there was like a. Well, okay, so Forge. That could be interesting. In round 4, you drop Forge as a 2, and then you take a 4-cost card that has now dipped down to a 2, and they can absorb Forge right then and there. Yeah, there's some. The applications are a little less than I thought, considering where Zabu will force you to play it. But here are the other Pool 5 cards that are going to be showing up in the Savage Land season. Here's a list of the new ones that are hitting the Pool 5 in the card game. And this site is over on Dixerto, where we're talking about this. Ghost, 1 cost, 2 power. Your cards are always revealed last. Their on-reveal abilities happen last. So I guess regardless of flip order, the on-reveal cards happen second. Good for Killmonger, to make sure Killmonger has the maximum potential, so that you don't flip him first, destroy 1 cards, and then the enemy flips over 1-costers, and they've now essentially skirted Killmonger. That's pretty decent. I don't think it always is going to make you go last. I just think that your on-reveal abilities will happen last, regardless of return order. There's Sauron. 3 cost, 3 power. Remove the abilities from all ongoing cards in your hand and deck. Oh boy, do I really have some questions about that. The risk reward over here is not that great. A 3/3 is kind of average. It's not like you're dropping a 3/5. Like, this isn't like an Ebony Maw situation here, but I'm not too sure what ongoings would you want to remove. Okay, Electro. All right. Good combination with Electro. You get the +1 max energy, and you could still play more than 1 card in a turn. That is excuse me, hiccups there for a second. I think that is a very good ongoing there. I don't know why he would want to shut off Cosmo like that. Considering he's a counter. Punisher, Mr. Fantastic, you don't want to shut off. Sandman, like, why even bother turning him off? He's a 1. Why drop him and then turn him off? That is definitely stupid. Enchantress, not really a combo there. Obviously, Kazar, you don't want. Strong Guy, Namor. None of these ongoings are something you would actually want to turn off. Other than Typhoid Mary. So Typhoid Mary, Electro are the only ones that I could think of. Actually, it makes Typhoid Mary pretty viable. I mean, to drop a 4, that's 10 power. That's decent. Maybe turning off Professor X for a little bit of a surprise. Maybe the enemy thinks, oh, okay, I can't do anything for that location. Professor X is there. I can't get a card there. I'm winning it by a little bit. Oh, well. And then Sauron comes in, turns off Professor X, and then maybe you can put... I don't know. That doesn't sound right. Claw, Sarah, Spectrum, Onslaught. None of these would you want to turn off. Ebony Maw is maybe... So Ebony Maw, Electro, and that's really kind of about it that I could think of that would really have any benefit from that. Interesting thing, Sauron, I believe this is true for Sauron's case, was always portrayed as a psychic vampire because in the golden age of comics, he was not allowed to be portrayed as a regular blood-based vampire. So he was considered a psychic vampire to get around the golden age rules. I believe that is true of him. Zabu, your 4 cost cards, cost 2 less. Again, something of why would you want to turn that off? Dazzler, if you have 4 cards at each location plus 6 power, I think that's great in a zoo deck. Maybe having a bunch of cheapies in locations, or Patriot. Yeah, Patriot, tokens, Dazzler. Okay, kind of like it. Shadow King, this is one that I knew about. I saw this one earlier. Set all cards here to their original base power. I wonder if that means... Here's Shadow King, Farouk. I wonder if that means their default before any potential buffs. So, for example, like Okoye gets out early, she buffs a card. Does Shadow King negate the Okoye buff? I believe that's what they're going for. In other words, set all cards here to their default power. Shanna or Shanna, on reveal, add a random 1-cost card to each location. I think that's good with Dazzler. I think that's good with Kazar, obviously. Random 1-cost, it's not necessarily Patriot friendly because you may get 1-cost cards with powers, like say Quicksilver. Stature costs 1 if your opponent discarded a card from their hand this game. I like that it works anywhere, any time in the game counts for this. Boy, that's pretty powerful. It's definitely very similar to Miles Morales, who gets extremely cheap if people have moved recently the round, but Stature is, I think this is a pretty good card here. Kang, on reveal, look at what your opponent did, then restart the turn, but without Kang. Does that mean the opponent has the chance to play something different? It makes me think of a rewind, but does the card go back into the enemy's hand and then the enemy essentially can play... Let's say this is round 5, okay? Let's say there's no craziness with your energy. You drop Kang round 5, and the enemy drops Killmonger, and a bunch of your 1-cost cards die because of Killmonger. That's what the opponent did. Then restart the turn without Kang. So does that mean Kang goes back to your hand? Does that mean the turn actually doesn't resolve it? Is it sort of like Daredevil? Weird. It's a weird application for Kang. MODOK, 5/8, on reveal, discard your hand. Could be interesting for Strong Guy. Or if you don't like what you have going into round 6, maybe you haven't pulled your Odin or your Apocalypse for discard deck, or Heimdall for a move deck, Onslaught, Spectrum, maybe a Doctor Doom, maybe an Arnim Zola. Yeah, I could see some decent applications for that. Even Lockjaw. It's good even for the Lockjaw deck. Living Tribunal. At the end of the game, split your total power evenly among all locations. Boy, that's something. That's something. When you see these post-game screenshots of people with like crazy Iron Man, Black Panther numbers at a location, boy, that is really a huge I win button. I want to see if this. I've seen them like all day. Not particularly this card, but I mean, people post matches like that all the time. And if you get one of those crazy 100 level locations and you just peanut butter spread it, like, I could see potentially like a loss. So 30, 27, 17. If this was 27 to 26 and things spread out, you would probably lose that one. If this was, say, 17 to 18, you would win. The 17 would come up, 27 would go down. Oh God, what would that do to Captain Marvel? Huh. If you're spreading your points around and all of a sudden something where like Miss Marvel was going to go for a win, and then the point spread happens, like I wonder if that would trip her up. But yeah, this group has definitely got some screenshots of like numbers that are just... There you go. Look at this one. Camertage. Look at this power over here. And imagine how big of an I win this would be if this was averaged out into 3 locations. I mean, Okoye, Wong, Black Panther, Odin. Wow. Really big. However, the thing is, they are being a 6 cost. This type of situation would be rougher because you can't do Odin and him. But if you somehow got this number up without Odin, or maybe you had Limbo and there was a turn 7, or maybe one of the cards was reduced in cost or something like that, like Wave, that could be... Boy, that's very interesting. We have new locations. Eternity Range. After turn 3, add a rock to the losing player's side. Altar of Death. When you play a card here, destroy it to get +2 energy next turn. Oh boy, would that be fun for death decks. Oof. Or maybe dropping Lockjaw before it reveals. Huh. I wonder when... Alright, so let's say Lockjaw is there. Altar of Death flips. You play a card. Lockjaw goes to teleport that card out and bring in another card. Would Altar of Death proc and destroy the card before Lockjaw gets a hold of it? Huh. That's an interesting... That could be an interesting experiment. Rickety Bridge. After each turn, if there's more than one card here, destroy them. I mean, sounds like a beautiful Namor location. Fill this location with rocks. Skip a turn to destroy rocks. I heard about this one. I thought maybe it was a meme. this actually is going to be true. Oh, if you get that on round 1, fine. If you get that like round 3, that could be a little rough. Plunder Castle, only cards that cost 6 can be played there. And then here is the Season Pass that we've already talked about. So yeah, interesting things for sure in the January season or the Savage Land season over here. I definitely do have my concerns about some cards, like how exactly are they going to work. I think Living Tribunal is a very, very scary I win button. And I think big numbers with an Iron Man and Living Tribunal could be crazy. Kang, look at what your opponent did and then restart the turn without Kang. Like, does Kang go back to your hand? Does he get discarded? If he's discarded, is that considered a destroy or discard at that point? Stature, I think, is great. Great reaction. Sauron is another one. I'm not really too sure where Sauron is going to come into play unless there's a lot of ongoing cards out there that I don't have and am just not talking about properly because I don't know them. But yeah, John is still got a 100% win rate for me over here. This deck is still doing really, really well. And I don't know what I would build a deck around just yet. Ghost is fun, but I don't think I would do a deck around her. Zabu, I think, could lead to some fun things. Dazzler, I think, could lead to some fun things. Shadow King, I think of again as more of a reactionary, like, are you tired of Scorpion? Are you tired of maybe a Luke Hazmat meta? Shanna could potentially be good with Kazar stature. If your opponent, see, it's not anybody. If it was anybody discarded a card from the hand, that'd be even better. But it's only the opponent. Dropping a 2/7 or like a 3/7 or 4/7, that's really good. Kang, I've got some questions about. MODOK could have some benefits with Strong Guy, or maybe you just don't like what you've got going into round 6. And at the end of the game, split your toe. This, God, I think that's really a very, very dangerous I win button. So what do you guys think about the Savage Land season? And what are you looking forward to trying to make a deck around? Or do any of the cards that are revealed, do you have a deck style that you think you can work some of these new cards into and maybe change up your deck a little bit? Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year. Napalm Dawn signing out.